Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I have a new environment in which I am filming my video. I am now sitting on the couch with all these cute little animals in the background. Let me know what you think of this change. I'm trying to find a better space with better lighting now that the light is going down so much earlier. So yeah, I do have one artificial light here. And next time I will start even earlier, but I think this will work. So today we're doing 3 looks with the Hummingbird palette by the Fancy Face, aka Tina. If you missed it, I did do a video on all 3 new Oden'S palettes that were in collaboration with 3 amazing influencers. So now I'm doing my follow-up, which is the 3 looks 1 palette video with each of them. So I'm going to start with Tina's palette. I'll give you a quick look again in case you missed it. It's this beautiful colorful palette, and for some reason it still feels a little bit like summer when I see this palette, so that's what I wanted to use. So without any further ado, let's go into the first look. I'm going to prime my eyes using the Glam Light Eye Stain Primer. I have mine in the shade Classic Vanilla. This has quickly become my favorite eyeshadow primer, so this is what I will be using in all of my looks. So now let's see what I'm going to do. I feel like for the final look I really want to do a full peacock look using only the greens and blues and purples. So I think I'm going to start with a relatively simple look. I'm going to do one look on each eye. I'm going to start with my fluffy brush by Too Faced, and I'm going into the shade Red Hills. And these shades are pretty dark and they're pretty pigmented. So as you can see, half my eye is dark red by now. I guess I'm really not used to that. I always use this kind of brushes to do my transition shades. But now my transition shade is actually straight away the deepest shade. So maybe this wasn't the best idea. I am going to build it up a little bit in my outer corner. And we are going to try to blend it out nicely. I do really like this shade as a 2-in-1 transition and deepening shade. It does blend out at the edges. I'm going to build it up just a little bit more. Now I'm switching to a small smudger brush by Essence. And I'm taking the same shade and I'm going to put that all the way through the lower lash line. This is such a beautiful shade. It's so nice and opaque. Now that there's less on my brush, I'm actually wiping it off on my hand a little bit. I'm going to go around the edges of the red. Smudge it out just a little bit. Oh crap. This is fallout that I just wiped with my hand. So please ignore that. I am going to clean it up later, but it shouldn't matter too much. So now I'm taking this fluffy packing brush by NYX and I'm going into the shade Swallowtail. This is a beautiful metallic orange shade and I'm going to put that all over the lid. And this look is really quite fall. I did hear that all these palettes were made with the fall season in mind, but I really saw this palette as a summer palette. But I guess I do see the fall tones in this look. Just going to make sure that's nice and pigmented and I'm going to blend it into the crease and into the outer corner. I'm really making this an all shimmer eye. Then finally with a small what is this called? Pencil brush. I'm going into the shade Beach Sands, which is this one. And I think this was meant as an inner corner shade and that's the way I'm going to use it. Oh, it works better than I was expecting. I was thinking that this was going to be way too dark. But this actually works for me as an inner corner shade. I'm also taking it a little bit underneath the tear duct. I'm just taking a clean blending brush and I'm going around the edges a little bit. And that's the first look all done. Let me add a little bit of mascara. So this is the first look all done. I really like it with just a little bit of mascara. This is going to pop even more when you have a full face of foundation and everything. And I must say this look reminds me a lot of what I did with Judy's palette. So it's a little bit more intense, I think, but that's also because I took that dark shade all the way up to my brow. So I think this is a pretty look. Let's see what I can do with the second one. So for the second look, I want to see how smoky I can get. So I'm taking a slightly smaller fluffy brush this time and I'm going into the shade Star Apple, which is this beautiful, well, what is it? A dark grayish violet. I'm going to put that in the outer corner, outer crease, and then also taking it through the lid. I am trying to blend it out with the same brush a little bit. I'm really amazed. These shades are beautiful when you blend them out with themselves. I'm wiping off my brush and I'm going into the shade Clear Blue, which is this pale blue matte. I'm going to use this to further blend out the purple. Very different from this one, but I like it. I like this shape for eyeshadow. With that same small smudger brush, I'm going into Star Apple again. And I'm just going to put this all the way through the lower lash line. But I'm keeping this one a lot closer to the actual lash line. And I'm taking a even denser backing brush, but still just a little bit fluffy. And I'm going into the shade Hummingbird, which is this dark purple. And I'm going to put this all over the lid except for the inner part. This is such a beautiful shade. These palettes have the most beautiful shimmery shades. You really don't need a lot. I mean, I used 3 shades for this look, so far 3 for this one. I'm also taking a little bit of that Hummingbird shade underneath my lower lash line. And then for the inner corner and inner part of the lid, I'm going into the shade Fancy, which is one of my favorites. It's this trichrome. And it's not going to do any justice to just put this on the inner corner. But if you want to see it all over the lid, I did apply it that way in my first look, in the first video. So I'm taking this a little bit over the Hummingbird shade. Just like that. It's a little bit dark as an inner corner shade for me, but it'll work. This with a smoky eyeliner and a lot of face makeup and maybe a elongating lash. Beautiful smoky look. So far a lot of diversity with this palette, which was exactly what I was expecting. Let me again add just a little bit of mascara. And done. So these are the first 2 looks. I'm really happy with them. I want to recreate them on both eyes as soon as possible. It's just these shimmer shades in combination with those colorful mattes. It's just, that's the sweet spot for me. I hope we can finish this video before it's getting really dark. As you can see, the shadow behind me is growing and growing. So I am now going to take both of these eye looks off and we'll do a fun rainbow colorful look at the end. I'm back, my eyes are freshly washed. I used an oil cleanser and then some soap to wipe off the oil, so I think my eyes are nice and clean. Albeit a little bit sensitive right now, but we're going to power through and do the third look. I'm very excited for this one. I'm going to use my primer again. I do still see some glitter when I look closely at my face, but I don't care. Alright, so what are we going to do? By the way, don't pay any heed to the fact that my face is so red. This always happens when I wash it, and there did come some water on my face, so... Alright, what are we going to do? I'm going to do a two-toned crease with the pink and the blue, blend it out with the light blue, and then do all sorts of colorful shades on the lid. I think that's what's the plan right now. So I'm taking that second fluffy brush from Essence again, and I'm going into the shade Hibiscus, which is this beautiful pink matte. And I'm going to put this in the inner part of my crease. I'm trying not to get it too high, but this stuff is so pigmented that every time I blend it out, it gets a lot higher than I'm intending it to. Sometimes I wish I had all this lid space with an eyebrow that was over here. Then I could do all these amazing double cut creases and stuff. But I'll be happy. That blended out in no time. As you can see, it did get a little bit higher here. So now I'll have to match it on this side. Now I'm going into the shade Lagoon, which is this beautiful blue. And I'm just using the other side of my brush. And I'm going to overlap it a little bit with the pink. And then drag it all the way to the outer corner. And as you can see, this blue actually blends out to be a lot more, well, almost turquoise, really. I am going to blend this out a little bit better. Just let me put down the shades first. And then you get a nice purple in between the shades. I did take the blue just a little bit too far. And I'm also going to take this blue in the outer corner. I really like this shade. I almost wish I didn't use the pink. This looks very intense. Let me see if I can fix that. I'm taking another fluffy blending brush and I'm going into the shade Clear Blue, which is that light blue shade, and I'm going to blend out the edges. And I'm making sure to overlap the dark blue parts so that they become sort of mid-toned. That does work. By the way, in my first video I did try to blend out the pink with this blue shade, and that also worked beautifully. And I do feel like I get a pretty seamless blend now, from the darker blue to the lighter blue. And it's ending in a nice turquoisey blue. So yes, this is a little bit extreme, but I'll clean up the edge and then I think it'll be pretty. So now I'm taking that smudger brush again and I'm going into... I think I'm just going to do shimmer shades on the lower lash line, and I'm going to start with those. So I'm first going into Blue Fields, which is this beautiful blue metallic shade. And I'm going to put that in the outer half of my lower lash line, connecting it to the dark blue on the top. I think you could do a beautiful blue smoky eye with just the light blue, the deep blue, and then the colorful blue. Maybe put turquoise metallic in the inner corner, something like that. I think that would be beautiful. Wiping off my brush, and I'm going into Tropics, which is the lighter, more turquoisey blue, and I'm putting that in the inner part of the lower lash line. Then I'm taking the green, which is called Feathers, which is this metallic, and I'm cleaning off my brush in between every move. Putting that in the inner corner. This is a really nice pigmented shade. And now I am, you know what, I'm going to take Tropics again and just mimic what I did on the lower lash line above. And the pink will just have to be a fun pop. Alright, and now I'm finishing it up with Blue Fields. And I'm connecting the metallic blue with the matte dark blue. And I don't think I have to say that this all blends perfectly together. I think the evidence is here. I'm really not the best makeup applier. I'm really doing this just for fun. But I think this is a pretty okay eye look. I really should have used some smaller brushes out here, but that's okay. What do we think? I'm gonna keep it like this. I wanted to deepen it up with the Star Apple shade, but I'm not going to, I think. I like this. So let me add some eyeliner, mascara, face makeup, maybe some lashes, and I'll be right back. I'm back, I finished my makeup, and this is the finished look. I thought I'd use some nice and big lashes to complement the largeness of all this. By the way, I used my Fenty cream blush in Strawberry Drip, if I'm not mistaken. I used my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation. I used the Makeup Revolution X Sauve Lip Kit from her latest collaboration. And I used some Boozy Shop lashes, actually. Most of you will probably not know this. This is what the packaging looks like. It's a Dutch wholesale store. And these are in the style Sarah Marique, who I don't know. But in case you live here, they were free with my order. So if you order enough, maybe you'll get them for free as well. I'm not sure how I like this look. I think I like the other two looks better. But I mean, the shimmers are lovely. It's just, I went a little bit too crazy with the blue, I think. I must say, I now have the artificial light on because it was getting too late, and the shimmer is less impactful this way. So yeah, I wasn't really planning on reviewing this palette in this video because I already did, but now I did do 3 more looks and I'm even more happy with this palette. I think it's so diverse, you can do so many looks with it, and even though this is a little bit extravagant, I could have toned this down a lot and then it would be pretty wearable for me. And if that's even too much for you, you can always use this as a pairing palette, which I heard Tina say is one of the things she designed it for. But I like using this palette on its own, and I think it's very versatile, and I'm going to do many more looks with it, so keep an eye out for that. And with that, I'm going to close this video. I want to thank you so much for watching. Please consider subscribing if you'd like to see more looks with the other palettes, and I will see you in the next one.